We're back to digging with Brother Digger, Otto. What's this? Sister Maria de la Radian, probably before your time. I was a boy when she passed. My father spoke well of her, though. Said she reminded him of his own grandmother, a sweet woman who loved the Lord. I expect the abbot will have her dug up soon. Ah, for the crypt. A ghoulish tradition, I've always thought, was that should remain buried. But then they don't have much space here. Many of the monks aren't long for death themselves, so... Well, I've reached the body, but... What? Is something wrong with it? Looks fine enough, decay notwithstanding, but someone stuffed a sack up under his ribs. Good God, let me see. Great. What a strange collection of objects. Strange how? Two are plated with precious metals and engraved, a silver chased rod and a golden plate. The rod has symbols of the zodiac on it. The plate has some script I don't recognize. And a knife. Seems ordinary enough, but together with the other two buried here, they're forbidden. Wait, there's blood in some of the symbols on this rod. Dried to be certain, but not that old. Ferenc tried cleaning this, but wasn't able to remove all of the blood. Could this be what was used to kill Lawrence? Who buried this here anyway? I can't say, but it may be connected to the Baron's murder. What? None of this makes any sense. What's going on here, Andres? That's what I need to figure out, Otto. Thank you for your help. I need to go eat somewhere? Hmm. Sorry about what's happening to Brother Piero. I don't know him well, but I find it hard to believe he could have killed the Baron. He didn't. You have any idea who might have done it? Did you see anything? No. Well, have you considered my offer to eat with you and the townspeople? The Gospel says that man cannot live on bread alone, but from time to time a little bread is required. Of course, I'll talk to Gret and see who she wants to come along. At the shrine to St. Moritz, I'll see you there. Who's Gret? All the mothers from Tassing and their children. Well, no, I don't think it's all of them. Helena Pfeiffer couldn't make it. It's a long walk up here in her condition. And Hetty said Hans was too big for stories. Stories? I may have said something about your books. I like stories. Yes, maybe a little too much. Ah, alright, I can tell a story, but first let us pray together and eat. Yeah. Thanks for the bread. Amen. I thank you and your husband for this bread, Gret. Bread brings people together. I missed this when I was in Flanders. Rye bread. You don't have bread in Flanders? Where's Flanders? North down by the sea. They have whole fields of them where the land is flat. I want to see them. Father Gernot eats a white bread, does he not? Yes, the finest wheat is used for the abbot's bread. Why? The abbot is a very important man, Paul. We have a bread in my home that we call injera. We make it thin, round, and wide, and we put our food on top of it. We eat it with almost every meal. I miss my bread. Oh, what's the recipe? Maybe we can make it. Thank you, but no, we use a fine grain that does not grow here called teff. I hope you find your local bread satisfying. I do enjoy it, perhaps too much. I am becoming too accustomed to life in Rome. In truth, I can no longer remember the taste of injera. Great danger that comes with the blessing of travel, living a life between two worlds. I don't want to talk about bread anymore. It's so boring. Don't be rude, Bert. Okay, tell us a story. It was printed in Bamberg. Very good. This is a Bible from my home that I brought to give to the abbot. Andreas, do you have a favorite story? I really don't. Do you know about the one where the about the fucking with horse dicks, or about killing off entire nations, or about forcing some dude to kill his kid just to fuck with him? It's a powerful image. Our struggles are not as spectacular as Jacob's. Yeah. You know the story of Jesus feeding the multitudes. Fish and loaves. This is from our Bible, how we tell the story of how Jesus fed thousands from only a few fish and a few loaves of bread. Why is everyone brown? Because where I'm from, everyone looks like me. Why? Because we are all as God has made us. I know tasking seems big to you, but the world is so much bigger than we can imagine. There are many people of many different colors all over the world. There are places where no one looks like you or me. Really? It's true. In Flanders, I saw ships arrive from the New World. The people look and dress very differently from us, differently from Brother Sebat. They make art out of gold that is so beautiful it outshines the greatest works of the Christian world. Did you know the Baron who was murdered? Bert. Came up when I was visiting the Druckers. I'm sorry, Marie. We can't shield him from the world forever. I did not know him, Bert, but do you know the story of Lazarus? No? He was a friend of Jesus. He became sick and he died. Died. But Jesus brought his followers to Lazarus' tomb. He prayed to God, and when they opened the tomb, Lazarus emerged, returned from the dead. Jesus can bring people back from the dead? He can, Bert. One day he'll bring us all from the dead. What the fuck am I playing? Have your head stolen. Ain't nothing. Yes, the Romans too. Why did you ask about the Romans? I saw one come out of their tomb like Lazarus. What do you mean, Paul? Well, the ruins below the mill, they're Roman, and they all died a long time ago. But I saw one come out the other night. They were in white like Lazarus. Let's stop telling stories, Paul, and you shouldn't have been outside at night. Andreas, what does he mean? Probably just someone slinking around after dark up to mischief. Apologies for that, ladies, but thank you for sharing a meal with me today. I will be leaving for Rome soon, but I'm glad to have spent some time with you and your children. Thank you, it was wonderful. Don't forget to stop by the bakery. Goodbye. Complete. Let's see a crypt about a crypt. Matthew is in the AB's Cercator. If he sees me, he'll kick me out. I have to keep out of sight until he's passed. Good thing he can't see well. If I go up these stairs, it's gonna take a while to find the records I need. I'll lose some time tomorrow morning unless I turn back now. Enter. Come on. Der Herr Biscambri. Mogwort, Southernwood. Butcher's Broom. Urination and defecation. Help with reduction of swelling. Interesting. Swelling like from syphilis? Connection between astrological signs and the elements, and their basic relationship to alchemy. Of course, this that we all already used. Next page is about something else entirely. Sister Illuminata must be trying to reconstruct the larger text. Huh. These two pages were interesting enough, I suppose, but quite basic. Wait, that's the connection between the astrological symbols on Ferenc cipher and the elemental symbols on the Volvel. This must be the text he referenced to create his cipher. Interesting. That would have been much simpler to solve if I'd seen this first. Good. Okay. I got you. What about here? What's in here? This is most curious. Account of the labyrinth of books. What the fuck? Occidens, Septentrio, Driens, Meridius. And this seems to be a map of the abbey. Quite complicated and an extraordinary tale. I'll have to see if I can borrow the book when I have some free time, if Illuminata allows it. This looks promising. The familiares of the Sisters of Kersau Abbey. Mater Catarina Monasteri Prefecta. Mother Catherine was the first to enter records 50 years ago. Soror Hildegard from the Gelderic family in Ravensburg. Quite wealthy. She became the prioress after Mother Catherine. Soror and then Mater, okay. Soror Cecilia, Sister Cecilia. This is Mother Cecilia's record. Wait, she's from the Welser family? They're one of the most powerful families in Augsburg. It looks like her family donates a lot of money to Kirsau every year, more than my family season 10. Interesting. 20 florins, 200 florins. Soror Gertrude from Hof. Her father is an apothecary, of course. Matilda. Yes, the nun's cellarer. She came from Kempten. Merchant family. They donated pigments to use in the scriptorium. Quite thoughtful. Great. And then this note says Sister Matilda left the abbey for several months. Why would she go to a hermitage? Seems strange that she's the only entry with such a note. The dates, 3 years ago. This was just before Father Matthias died, which means it was around the time Baron Rothvogel visited. This has to be it. Matilda must be the nun the Baron harmed on his last visit. The bitch who wouldn't say anything. Soror Illuminata. Named Angeline from the Capocci family in Perugia. It looks like they have some connection to Kirsau through an old abbot, Rudolf. Her family donates money to the abbey every year as well. 20 florins. 50 florins in advance, and then 20 florins. Something else? Sister Sophie. Her family is poor, but they donated flour. Lisbeth. Oblate. She's from Utrecht. She had an eventful life before coming here, married with a child. Both died. Her merchant family has some connection to Kirsau through the Kaufmanns of Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Okay. Margaret, the blind girl who assists Gertrude. She went blind because failed surgery on her cataracts. Wealthy peasant family, they donated wool and a pasture in Krim. And Zdena. They donate a fortune to the abbey. 300 florins. No, 30 florins. No wonder Mother Cecilia and the abbot let her behave as she does. Okay. Let's get out of here then. Ooh, what you doing here, buddy? Oh, okay. What in the shit? What am I going to do now? Speak with them. Could go badly. We're both in an awkward position. They won't be happy about me being here. You know what? I'll just wait. Jesus fucking Christ, they're fucking until the morning? What? Andres, when are you coming home? Dad, I'll be home soon. I just need to finish this commission for the monastery. But finish that masterpiece too. It's time for you to get on with your career. Yes, of course. No, of course not. I'm not gonna quit this life. I know that. Sabine. Welcome back, Andres. It's been too long since you've graced this court with your presence. Ah, tragedy at Kiersa Abbey, murder of a nobleman. Brother Piero is being accused. He can't have done it because he's weak. A lot of inconceivable shit happens on this hell of an earth, Andres. I do not deny that it's possible, but I believe it is extremely improbable. So what do you intend to do about it? When I'm brought before the Archdeacon, I'll tell him what I know about other people who had motives to kill the Baron. I have to believe he'll see there are much more likely suspects than Piero. Why have you taken this task upon yourself? I have to save Brother Piero's life. He has no one else to help him. If Andreas doesn't help him, no one will. Exactly. I understand why the brothers and sisters cannot act against the abbot, but I must do something. What does that shit for brains abbot care about the death of a useless fart like Lawrence Rothvogel anyways? Powerful people get upset when other powerful people are murdered. This could threaten the existence of the abbey. Oh no, the abbey. In any case, Andres' ability to prevent Piero's death depends on the judgment of the Archdeacon. Andres must win the Archdeacon to his side using the tools favored by men such as him. Reason, wisdom, authority, honesty? No. Bootlicking. Nobody's reasonable authority? Oh, you're just an artist. You have no authority with him. Honesty? You must be honest in all things, Andres, but many are not willing to accept the truth. If these cannot triumph, what do I have left? Hope. Lies, truth, and faith in Providence. What do you plan to tell us the Archdeacon? There were other people in Kirsau and Tassing who had motives to kill the Baron. Friar Ferenc feared the Baron would report his occult interest to inquisitors. Friar Ferenc and the Baron shared a fascination with the occult texts. The Baron was pressuring the Prior into performing a ritual for him while he was visiting Kersau. When Ferenc refused, the Baron threatened to turn him in to the Inquisition. How did you come by this knowledge? I found written evidence, a letter from Ferenc to the Baron in which he discusses all of these matters. It is a dangerous thing among dabbling in the occult. Yeah, okay. All of this worry over dangerous books started in the University of Paris. It shouldn't even be an issue here. The danger remains. A cipher Prior had left on his desk in the scriptorium. The message pointed me to a freshly disturbed grave in the cemetery, and when we dug up the grave, we found occult tools. He hid them in case the Baron made good on his threat to summon inquisitors to Kirsau. How might the Prior have accomplished the deed? He may have killed the Baron with a silver rod. The Prior uses it in performing his rituals, and there are traces of blood on it. No. Are there any others you suspect? I found no other suspects. Well, that's not fucking true. Currently my main fucking suspect is Sister Cecilia or Matilda. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna skip all this dialogue because it seems like it's not leading me anywhere helpful. What in the fuck is going on? Are they just fucking until it's lunchtime? No, I was asleep. Are you here for the books or for me? You, of course. I'd call you a liar, but I know it's the truth. You probably pray every evening that when you knock on the door in the morning that I'll answer instead of Illuminata. Something like that. Do you want to keep talking? Seduce Dana was an achievement. That's nice. Oh, you know what you're doing. That's a nice surprise. Sisters Dana, are you here yet? Sisters Dana? Oh, God protect us. Sister Illuminata, come quickly. Someone is sleeping behind the bookshelf. Andres, how did you find your way in here? And why are you here in the first place? You scared Sisters Dana half to death. I was looking in the admission records for clues about the Baron's death. I learned that the Baron hurt one of the sisters on his last visit to Kersau. Oh, I see. Yes, Sister Matilda. What happened to her was evil. But if you were reading about her, you can't really believe she killed the Baron. Matilda killed him? Shush, of course not. I sincerely doubt that it's possible. I can't rule anything out. Not your place to decide, it's the Archdeacon's. It's not my story to tell. Speak to the other sisters. Please leave immediately. Of course. Sorry for the trouble. Come, Sisters Dana, we have work to do. I was sure she'd wink. I should find someone to eat with. How about Sister Cecilia? Andres, wait. Christ, there you are. Brother Winslow, what's the matter? It's the Archdeacon. He's come early with an entire retinue in tow. He's questioned everyone who knew the Baron and Brother Piero. I've already told him the little I know. He expects to speak with you today at Nonis. He requested you specifically. I went to the Gertners at Vesper to try to warn you, and you never showed up. Where were you all night? Honestly, in the library. But why? No, never mind. Just don't let the abbot find out and don't tell the Archdeacon. Anyway, he's questioning everyone in the chapter house and he's keenly interested in you. Who's with him? Several men at arms, a gaggle of functionaries, and an executioner. I hope your prying has borne fruit, or Piero's neck will meet the sword. I've done my best with the time I've had. Whatever happens, Piero knows you've been working hard on his behalf and he's grateful for it. Only, Andres? What? It's just, you know as well as I do that the Baron was not a good man. I'm not saying he deserved what he got, just you think hard about what you tell the Archdeacon and who you tell him about. You understand? You don't need to worry. I found nothing that implicates you. It's not me I'm worried about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shout. You don't deserve that. All I'm saying is if in your searching you heard anything about certain sister, I'd ask you to keep it to yourself. I'll do what I can. Where's he interrogating everybody? Chapter house at Nonus. Is now Nonus? The fuck am I supposed to know what Nonus is? No. Oh god, this fucking game. So, nobody in the chapter house, huh? Great, then let's speak to Matilda. But most of all, let's speak to Cecile. Where are you at, bitch? Oh, here you are. I need to talk to you about Sister Matilda. I warned you, I should have known you wouldn't listen. What happened was tragic. What did happen? I omitted the details for several reasons. Lawrence tried to seduce Sister Matilda. She rebuked him several times, so one morning he attacked her in the meadow on her way to town. He dragged her into the woods. She's a strong woman, but her resistance was met with violence. When pilgrims to the shrine found her, she had been beaten so badly she could barely move. I'm assuming the Baron didn't suffer any consequences for this attack. No, I knew he wouldn't. I also knew that bringing the attack to the attention of Father Matthias would put him in an impossible position. So you covered it up. Fucking bitch. The Baron would suffer no consequences, but the abbot would have refused his continued patronage. I concealed his identity, had Sister Matilda taken to a hermitage. She stayed there under the care of sisters until she recovered and could return. You really don't think the abbot would have taken action? No, I'm positive that he would have. In doing so, he would have jeopardized the existence of this community. Try to understand how hard it is for my kind to believe that any man could be held accountable. I'm not proud of what I did, but what's done is done. How did she feel about seeing the Baron again? Seeing him was hard for her, of course. She defended her virtue from the Baron, but her injuries were severe. Her body recovered in time. Her mind, I don't know if it ever will. She still fights him in her dreams. She wakes in the night screaming, soaked in her own sweat. So it affected her, yes, it still affects her. That doesn't mean she wanted to kill the Baron. It certainly doesn't mean she actually did. She's a faithful servant and friend of Christ. I believe that truly, Andreas. She is respected and beloved by this community for good reason. I think Brother Woislaw knew the Baron attacked her. No, he didn't know. Perhaps it will come to light now that the Baron has been murdered, but she didn't tell him before. But their relationship is more than... He didn't know. She's assured me she told no one else in all this time. No one. And if she chooses to tell anyone now, it hardly matters. I see. Do not mention Sister Matilda to the Archdeacon. I do not believe she could have done this. Just because you believe it doesn't mean... Believe it doesn't mean it's so. Pray upon it if you need to. You'll see the truth. With the evidence I have... God bless you, Master Mailer. May I ask you some questions? About the murder of the Baron. I know about everything. I see. So you think I killed the Baron? I'm not sure. Why don't you tell me how it happened? He surprised me in the meadow and made his interests clear. I refused his advances. I thought that would be the end of it. This was not enough because he did the same thing the next day. I refused him again. I thought if I was patient, the problem would leave with him. I never thought that the Baron was capable of doing what he did. On the third day, he attacked me on my way through the meadow. He dragged me into the forest where he could have his way with me. I managed to badly scratch his neck. He beat me until he was exhausted, and he left me there in the woods. Mother Cecilia had me removed from Kiersau for my safety until I recovered. The wounds to my body have healed, but the attack has left a lasting injury in my mind. Sounds like a strong motive to kill the Baron. I was angry. I was filled with hate, yes. It has been years. Mother Cecilia and Father Thomas helped me move past the anger to find love in this community. Father Thomas? Yes, he's our confessor. We can talk to Mother Cecilia about our problems, but only a priest can hear our confessions. Thank you for your time, sister. God bless you, Master Mailer. Father Thomas. Interesting. Because Father Thomas right now has another victim in his... The Baron and the nun are called hands. The widow's curse, the stonemason's anger. Stonemason's anger. The end of Lucky's fishing set. Grave of Lucky and Agnes's daughter, Beatty. Two innocents. Father Thomas, maybe we can, fuck. I don't know what to do. I think if I go now, I'm gonna trigger the... Oh, for fuck's sake. You're still here? Jesus. I'm gonna go talk to Lucky for a second. Somebody gave him that note. I'm really curious who. Yep. Are you Joseph? Yep, Hibner. Okay. Well, I'll leave you to it. Thanks, nice meeting you. Likewise. Where the fuck is this dude? Hey, Lucky. Good day, Lucky. You have a moment to talk? Make it quick. I wanted to ask you about the grave of two innocents in the forest. I saw you leave flowers there. Who were they for? I'm not getting anywhere with him. Perhaps his wife, Agnes. I found the note you left in the forest. You know where it came from? No. That's all you're getting from me, Andres. I found it with my tools the night before Rothvogel was killed. I don't know what it means. Why don't you keep it since you care so much? You done now? One grave for two innocents. Isn't that the grave in the forest? Fine, let's eat. Okay, blessings for shit. You're looking tired, Agnes. Did Elsa keep you up late? You don't care for the doctor? He's terrible. Haven't you met him? A stuck-up ass who thinks he knows everything just because he went to a fancy university. And the women of Tassing are lucky to have you as their midwife, Agnes. Is Elsa the miller's wife? Yeah. Did something happen to her? She lost a child a few weeks back. She was overjoyed when she finally quickened, but her bleeding returned soon after. Difficult for her, but she has been through it before. She will make it through again. She is strong in her love of Christ and in love of her husband. He doesn't deserve it. The miller is not a kind man. Not to the peasants and not to his wife. Hardly a secret. The man has power in this town and he makes certain we all know it. Take it as a caution, Andreas. Don't get on the miller's bad side. His unkindness is doubtless what's caused her bleeding. I'm afraid my opinion is not worth much to a man like him. She has her son Paul for comfort. If he is all the Lord grants her, she will still be blessed. The best we can do for her, Elsa, is care for her as neighbors. She isn't the only one in Tassing who struggles in her marriage. Even my Brigitta has her troubles. Martin Bauer's wife? Or, yeah. God rest their souls, we should never have agreed to their marriage. She deserves better than Martin Bauer. Loves the man she had to marry sometime. What could we do? Found a man who isn't such a useless shit. Yeah, fair. At least we got Wolf out of it. We'll make sure he grows up solid. He'll become a great stonemason, just like his grandpa. Now, why don't you tell Andrews about your work at the Abbey? You said you found something strange in the building? Strange how? Ah, that. I was repairing a cracked wall down in the crypt. The Abbey used to be a Roman fort, right? So it's no spring hand. I bumped into a relief of the Virgin and the door slid open. Was the damnedest thing. I discovered the same thing, a fascinating detail. All the Abbey's full of secrets, make no mistake. Anyway, I stuck my hand up through the trapdoor and one of the nuns screamed. I felt bad for scaring them. You must have frightened Sister Illuminata half to death. Probably should have knocked first. Never know what you'll find behind the closed door. Agnes? Yeah, but I want to talk to Agnes about... I was hoping to talk to you about the grave at the forest. Uh, no, it's not my business, but visiting a secret grave in the woods is unusual. Shall we not pray for the souls of the dead, Andreas? They're usually buried in the churchyard. It's the grave of our first daughter. She had an affair with Baron Rothvogel and fell pregnant. The Baron took no responsibility for his part. Beatty was crushed. She couldn't marry Baron Rothvogel. The Baron was already wed. It's not that uncommon, even a small town like ours. The Baron met Beatty on one of his visits to town. He took a liking to her. He made her many promises, promises he had no way to keep, no intention of keeping. Beatty was no child, but she had little experience with men and the things they'll say to get their way. When she missed 2 cycles, she came to me, who had already been through this with her sister. Before or after Bridget, I had married Martin. Before. Strange thing, says Bridget, as younger. Both our girls had wound up in trouble, but Beatty knew we wouldn't be angry. Lucky's a gruff man, but he loved both our daughters. Why is she buried in the churchyard? She tried to restore her bleeding cycle and the pregnancy. I didn't want to help her, so she helped herself to the medicine I used with other women. It was an accident, God knows it was, even if the church thinks differently. One last thing about Lucky. Do you think he blames the Baron for Beatty's death? In a sense, I believe all of us who loved her do. I wish you could have known her, Andreas. She was a bright soul. You want to know if my husband killed your friend? We hardly knew each other. Be that as it may, my husband is not a murderer. I didn't think he was. See, I have a problem because I'm 100% sure I didn't finish the... I didn't finish investigations, but this dude is right here. Ulrich, what are you doing here? Guy, Adoc, Margaret and Gertrude, Eddie and Veronica. A lot of people around here. Please state your name for our records. Andres Mailer, artist, recently of Ghent. Really? What brought you all the way up to Upper Bavaria? I'm heading back to Nuremberg to finish my apprenticeship and open a workshop. It's the end of my Wanderjahre. Very well, thank you. Arnold, please write that down. I think we're ready to begin. Now then, Master Mailer, what was your relation to Lawrence? I only knew him for a day, but we were on friendly terms. You feel you had a sense of him as a person? Yes, Your Reverence. How would you characterize him? No, a nobleman, for all the good and ill that goes along with that title. You have a problem with the nobility, Master Mailer? Of course not, Your Reverence, but even noblemen may be tempted to abuse their power. Do you know of anyone who had a reason to harm the Baron? I can think of a few people, Your Reverence. Father Gernot. While it seems unlikely that a man of his age and temperament could murder the Baron, he was discovered in flagrante delicto. He wasn't, though. The Baron was already dead. Stop talking. If you wish to advocate on behalf of Brother Piero, I suggest shutting your mouth until I ask you a question. Piero had reasons to resent the Baron, the loss of his work, the insistence on discussing the writings of the troublemaker from Wittenberg, and as for his age and infirmity, I myself have read of many cases in which a man of modest strength succumbs to the temptations of the devil. Once seized by a devilish fever, the poor sinner gains an infernal power that allows him to inflict grievous wounds, sometimes fatal. What I am saying is that in spite of the curious circumstances, Brother Piero is the most plausible perpetrator of this most vile act. Your friendly terms with Brother Piero, you also interacted with the Baron. Did you witness anything that suggests someone else could have murdered Baron Rothvogel? The Abbey's prior. I can provide evidence of Prior Fering's motive. Please do so. Baron Rothvogel and Prior Fering were exchanging letters about performing a magical ritual during the Baron's visit. You have proof of this? I have a letter the Prior wrote to the Baron. Tell Jacob Bessler immaterial gossip. In it, the Prior mentions that he will not perform a ritual for the Baron, even if the Baron does follow through on a threat to implicate him to questioners in Innsbruck. An implication of necromancy is a serious matter. The Prior's position would have been imperiled, possibly even his life. And how do you believe Prior Fering would have killed the Baron? I pray you will not say it was a magical ritual. I found a silver rod with dry blood on it. Likely a magical tool of some sort, but it is of a size and weight appropriate for the head wound that the Baron received. One of Prior Fering's considered brethren delivered it to my keeping. Highly unusual, but I will heed your request. Is there anything else to say about the Prior? No. Very well. Who else may have wanted to see the Baron dead? A local thief. Yes, his name has come up in my inquiries. My understanding is that he absconded with some of the Baron's valuables. Arnold? Yeah. Listing the valuables. This boy was known as a thief, but also a coward, and the theft was from the Abbey's guest house after the Baron had already left it. Very well. I'm not treating him as a serious suspect for the Baron's murder at this time. Who else? I can think of no one else. Has Brother Florian told you about the note he found in the Baron's clothing? Yes. Master Adeljager has entered his testimony in our register. Who is the innocent? Another mystery, it seems. You believe the murderer wrote it? Whoever wrote it was a talented scribe. I understand Kirsau has two, the elderly brother Adok and the younger brother Guy. And I spoke to neither. To be frank, your reverence, neither man has the skill to write it in this way. There's something else about it too. The style is just different. It's unlike Adok and Guy's writing, unlike mine. Yes, well, whatever the particulars, it seems it will remain a mystery that stands apart from the commission of the murder. Fortunately, there's more to tell. I found more notes. Notes written in the same hand on the same type of parchment to those who had a motive to kill the Baron. Deeply troubling, but again beyond the bounds of my investigation. In any case, I thank you for bringing it to my attention. So you're just investigating the murder, not the reason for the murder? Are you fucking retarded? Hopefully there won't be a next time, dipshit. Andres, I didn't think you were coming to this. Well, here I am. It was the prior of the abbey, if you can believe it. I can't. Get Ferenc executed. I don't think Ferenc did it. The Archdeacon got it wrong. Did I miss anything? No, you're fine. Andres? Otto? I didn't do this. This can't be happening. Silence, silence. I ordered the executioner to carry out his duty. I warrant him peace and safe conduct, whatever may befall him. I'm gonna watch. Hold still. My Lord Judge, have I executed well? I guess, because for that I thank God and my master who has taught me such art. I know this was your doing, Andres. Take it up with the Archdeacon, it has nothing to do with me. Again, take it up with the Archdeacon. I don't care what you have to say about it. You are no longer welcome. I will send your final payment to the Gärtners. May you have a long and successful career in Nuremberg, and may you never travel this way again. I will fucking get you. At some point. And act on out of the abbot's favor. Andreas, has the time come for you to leave us? Yes, and none too soon. I ended Act 1. You have grown beyond this old abbey and become a master in your own right. I will miss you, my son. Who will keep you out of trouble? Come, your masterpiece is complete. May I say it one last time before you go? Please, I value your assessment. It is a masterpiece, truly worthy of the word. It appears you took my advice to heart. What advice was that? To put yourself into the work, not just to interpret another artist's work, but to transform it into something true. This shows the world as it is, as you have seen it, even if it's not what we may want to see. Though it is not my place to say so, I am proud of you, Andreas. What's this? A scrap of parchment. Do not return here. A warning? Whose hand is this? It doesn't look like Brother Adox or Brother Guy's. Brother Florian and I found a similar note in the Baron's clothing, and I found more notes delivered to others while I was investigating. Someone was trying to manipulate him into going to the chapter house in the middle of the night. It must have been written by someone who knew his secrets enough to provoke him. They tugged at those secrets to get him killed, like someone pulling at the threads that had been buried in the past. Who would do such a thing? I wish I knew. Don't trouble yourself overly about it. Your future lies outside of these walls. I hope you'll have time to visit me once or twice in your travels before the Lord takes me. I'm sure we'll see each other again. God bless you, Andres Mailer. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your friendship. Finished Act 1. Who are these dudes? Caspar. Ah, it's Master Andres. Yes, thank you. I was just remembering him, trying to anyway. It doesn't come easily anymore. Oh, would you like me to leave you alone? Oh no, Caspar, it's not necessary. There's nothing to be done about it now. It's too late. Like so many things. Andres Mailer, I never expected to see your face here again. Have you been in Nuremberg for these last 7 years? No, Nuremberg for a few years, but I received some lucrative commissions abroad. I was in England. In London mostly. I was well received there and painted portraits for nobility and prominent merchants. Did you encounter any Jews among your clients? No, though there was rumor of a home for Jewish converts to Christianity in the city. Why? I had heard that a handful of physicians were naturalized as citizens after the expulsion. I wondered if they might have found a home in England after their recent ejections from Portugal and Navarre. I'm surprised you care at all. In spite of your extensive travels and success, you're still not welcome at Kirsal. The abbot hasn't forgotten what happened. 7 years isn't all that long. I simply wanted to pay my respects to an old friend. Surely you understand that. I understand why Father Abbot expelled you from the abbey. What were you expecting? A hero's welcome? Fine. Tell Father Gernot I'll be staying at the Landhaus in town for a night or two before moving on. God bless you. Now be off. The monk seemed unhappy to see you, Master Andreas. Why is the abbot so angry with you? Towards the end of my stay in Tassing there was a murder. A nobleman. Father Gernot panicked and accused my friend Brother Piero. I helped convince the investigating archdeacon it was somebody else, and he was executed for that crime. Yes, I got somebody killed. Why didn't you mention it before? Must have been a hard situation. I had to make some difficult choices. Why do we come here if you're not welcome? I wanted to pay my respects, and to be honest, I'm not looking forward to returning to Nuremberg. This commission is an obscene vanity piece under the pretext of a religious scene. My patrons just want to celebrate themselves and their wealth. I dread each new commission more than the last. Every step I take toward home is agonizing. But you're famous and rich. Okay. I know. It must be hard to believe. I was once very much like you. I don't know if I've changed or what if I wanted was never real. I want life as an artist to be better for you, Caspar. Learn from my mistakes, alright? Alright. Yes, Master Andreas. I shouldn't be burdening you with such dark thoughts. Let's visit my old friend Klaus. Can I... Thank you. I'd just like to say... We're gonna stop here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.